Did you know that you're supposed to drink a lot of water every day? Like a lot of water? Well, now you know. You're welcome. Hi, I'm Looney, and in this video I'm trying out the Japanese water therapy and the Japanese towel method for weight loss and other good stuff. I actually bought one of those water jugs the other day to monitor my water intake. This is about half a gallon, so I figured that it would be easy to track drinking 2 of these a day. Next day I realized that it was 10 p.m. and I had barely drunk half of 1 bottle. So clearly our liquid intake is not adequate. I've seen a lot of those drink a gallon of water a day videos and thought,
lose weight with no diet or exercise. That sounds like something right up my alley.
But how boring would it be for you guys to watch me drink water and pee for a week straight? So I started to look for something a little more exciting. While my research ranged from waterboarding to 7-day no food, water fasts, I came across something a bit less dramatic. The Japanese water therapy. The Japanese water therapy also involves drinking a gallon of water a day, but what makes it different is you get to watch me drink water while eating sushi. Just kidding, I have no idea how to use chopsticks.
What?
Bad luck.
Japanese water therapy gets its name from being widely used in Japanese medicine and among Japanese people. And you know, if it's coming out of Japan, it must be good. Pretty much everything they have is high-tech and advanced. Come on, our toilets are from Stone Age compared to theirs. So how advanced must their water drinking habits be? Just look at these obesity rates. Japan is also one of the leaders when it comes to longevity. They're obviously onto something. Plus, it's a common known fact that giving any procedure a fancy foreign-sounding name makes it 10 times more effective. Besides weight loss, the Japanese water therapy also claims to fix many other problems, from more energy to sharper mind and to treating cancer and type 2 diabetes. So what are the rules? 1. Drink 4 cups of room temperature water first thing in the morning, which is about 1 liter. You must do this before brushing your teeth, which I still can't find the logic as to why that is important, but hey ho. After drinking the water, you must wait for 45 minutes before you eat or drink anything, so you'll have plenty of time to brush your teeth later. It's also important that the water is not cold. Apparently they claim that the cold water is harmful because it slows down digestion and causes disease. At each meal, eat only for 15 minutes and do not eat or drink anything for 2 hours after eating. I'm beginning to see where the weight loss is coming from. You don't get any food. I'm always snacking. Some versions I found also said not to drink while standing because it's bad for digestion. Well, that ought to be fun in public. Remember to not drink too much water at the same time because this could lead to water intoxication and hyponatremia, which is when the salt levels of your body drop, which is a very serious condition that can lead to death. So please, don't drink too much. Generally considered more than 4 cups or 1 liter per hour for a healthy person. Especially please don't if you have any medical conditions. I don't want to be responsible for your early death. So I was all hyped up and ready to go when the very same night, while doing my regular Facebook feed scroll, I noticed a friend had shared an article about Japanese towel weight loss method. And naturally I thought, oh my god, it's destiny. I could do one big fat juicy Japanese weight loss video and lose even more weight at the same time. I know what you're thinking.
But Looney, if you try both at the same time and do lose some weight, then you can't tell which one caused the weight loss. And if one of them is not effective, then which one?
Okay, fine. I won't test them at the same time. I will take turns in testing them and see what the difference is. And if I had to choose one, then which one would I go with? The first thing I usually do in the morning is make coffee. I normally barely even open my eyes before I've had my first sip of coffee. So it was a rude awakening to wake up to a very non-caffeinated water. I've decided to drink half a bottle whenever I wake up around 6 a.m. Wait 45 minutes, have coffee and breakfast, drink second quarter around 9, half of a quarter of my second bottle around 11:30, another half of a quarter around 2 p.m. and the last quarter of a gallon around 4:30. I've just finished my first quarter of a gallon and I'd say I feel pretty bloated right now, but accomplished.
We're off to a good start.
I am determined to not change my diet during any of this. I will literally do my best to keep eating exactly the same foods I have been so far and not exercise. This way the results will be fair. It is now 11:27 and I have discovered my first obstacle. There is not enough allocated coffee time. You see, normally I make a big pot of coffee first thing in the morning and I drink it until it runs out around noon, and then I make another one, sometimes a third one. And here is today's pro tip. If you would like to keep your teeth permanently in a fashionable shade of hillbilly yellow, make sure you drink lots of coffee all the time. I promise you, no amount of brushing will ever beat the power of coffee. I somehow made it to dinner with only one pot of coffee and done! 1 gallon of water, Japanese style, day 1, check. I am really not a huge fan of changing the things that give me comfort, especially if it's things that give me comfort and energy first thing in the morning, such as sitting down for 5 minutes just drinking my morning coffee. Even though the last time I drank water was around 5 p.m. last night, I somehow still managed to make regular bathroom visits all night long, which woke up my cats, who started playing, which woke up my baby, who started playing. And when everyone finally fell asleep again, you know who was wide awake? That's right, my bladder. Are you seeing the size of this moth? My brain is sluggy. It's a sluggy day. And I have this annoying, dull headache. I'm not sure if it's the lack of sleep, the reduced amount of caffeine, or maybe my body is detoxifying. Or am I drinking too much water too fast? Is the death imminent? I weighed myself this morning and I had actually lost 3 pounds, which is amazing, considering I didn't change my diet or do any exercise. I am pleased with this unexpected turn of events. And I am very curious to see if the weight would keep dropping continuously if I kept this going long term. I have discovered that I am addicted to the action of eating or drinking something. I thought that the hardest part would be drinking a huge amount of water. I thought the challenge would be the constant visits to the bathroom or keeping track with the time and schedule of drinking. I was wrong. The hardest part of this challenge for me was not being able to drink or eat anything for 2 hours after eating. I mean, it's not actually that I even get hungry, I rather get thirsty. But I don't know if it's like the real thirst or rather like a force of habit. It's like when I would naturally get up and walk to the kitchen to grab a cup of coffee or a sip of water or a snack, I suddenly can't. And my body doesn't know what to do with this impulse, this inertia. So it translates into anxiety and irritation, and I have to replace it with physically doing something, like washing the dishes or fiddling with something. Well, at least the house can finally get cleaned up. My coffee machine got fed up with my impatient fiddling and stopped working. No! No! So I had to make coffee old school. In a pot, like a caveman. I am pleased to announce that my sluggy brain is gone, and I actually have a really good amount of energy. I wouldn't say that I'm at the genius level yet, but let's just say we're probably getting there. And those pee breaks though, they get you, especially during the night. I would say this challenge would be really challenging if I had to,
Leave the house.
Don't try this challenge if you're still in school or college, or before a hot date, or sitting in a traffic jam. This could be a very long list, so yeah, you better stay at home. It is day 7 and I am happily finishing my first part of this experiment. By the end of the week, I actually got used to the new morning routine of just stepping outside, drinking some water, taking some deep breaths, and making coffee later. However, I am still not used to being able to drink for 2 hours after meal, and I have a feeling I'd be fidgeting for a long time. That part of me is happy to return to my regular lifestyle. But at the same time, I'm glad that it shed light to my drinking problem. The other diets I did, whenever I'd get the craving, I'd drink water or coffee until the craving went away, and now I can't do that. I'm gonna leave the physical results of the water challenge until the end of this video, and let us move on with the second part, that is the Japanese towel method. This method was created by Japanese physician Toshiki Fukujuji. That method claims to help you lose belly fat, get rid of back pain, and improve your posture, simply by laying on the floor for 5 minutes a day and using a towel. This is because, according to Fukujuji, the extra layer of fat you have around your midriff, the donut, the love handles, is due to misplacement of your pelvic. And doing this exercise, this method, your internal organs are going to be ultimately positioned in a way they are supposed to be, and your pelvic will adjust to the right position, and thus the layer of fat will magically disappear. I can't wait to see if there's any truth to this. I've read many comments about people having great results, so I'm excited for this one. The way to do this exercise is to take a medium-sized towel, roll it up like a burrito, and tie it with strings or whatever you have to keep it from unrolling. Lay down on a level surface, like a yoga mat or a carpet, not on bed. Place the roll under your lower back, directly under your belly button, and lay down. Place your toes together so they form a triangle, and your hands above your head with your pinkies together. Remain in this position for 5 minutes. Some sources say you should do this method 2 to 3 times a day, while others just say 5 minutes is enough. In the video they also measure their height, so I don't know, I guess you can also grow taller using this magic method. I'm already 5'11", so hopefully I still fit through the door by the end of the week. The first thing I noticed was a pulling sensation right in the middle of my abdomen, and also a similar stretching feeling in my pinkies and tension in my right ankle. Other than that, I didn't find standing in this position for 5 minutes impossible. In fact, if doing this method for 5 minutes can give you similar results than doing 5 minutes of burpees, then come on, which one would you choose? One of the benefits that the towel method claims is to reduce back pain. And as a parent, back pain is like inevitable part of my existence, since you seemingly always have a hip extension no matter what you do, so inevitably you end up spending a large part of the day S-shaped. And I have to admit that while I was laying down, I continuously felt as if one side of my pelvis was higher, or somehow I just felt really uneven. And on the first day my back was hurting more after I got up. You know, for someone who has the displeasure of living with ADHD, sitting still in one position for 5 minutes is just about as comfortable as relaxing on a fire ant mound. It's a challenge. I'm willing to endure this suffering for the sake of easy weight loss. Compared to day 1 and day 2, I have not noticed any significant differences. I still feel the pull in the midsection, I still feel the pressure in my ankle, and my pelvic is still feeling slightly wonky. So I think I'm going to spare you from showing the rest of the days because there was literally no progress or change in my position, and it would be just far too boring to watch. Let's skip straight to the results. Alright, I have now spent 2 weeks testing out 2 of the lazy girls methods for weight loss that include no exercise and no diet. So first I will show you the before and afters and the measurements. And then I will tell you how I feel about the experience and which one I prefer over the other. But first, if you enjoyed my shenanigans, please consider gently fondling your like button to tickle my algorithm. And if you could use some more buffoonery in your mundane life, consider subscribing and turning on the alarm so you know when YouTube is being blessed with another one of my wild experiments. As you can see, I started out with 191.6 pounds, and after the week of Japanese water therapy, I had lost 5.5 pounds. After the second week, the towel method, I had lost 2.2 pounds more. So altogether, within these 2 weeks of no exercise and no diet, I lost almost 8 pounds, pretty much doing nothing. And anytime I can lose some weight without the painful, soul-crushing experience of food restrictions or burpees, I consider it a huge win. Between the two methods, I would say I found the second method easier, since the water therapy requires constant monitoring, checking what time it is, have I missed my eating/drinking window, having to take time to pee all the time, while the towel method is just laying down and relaxing for 5 minutes. Saying that, I lost more weight with the water method, but I'm assuming most of it to be the water weight, since when you're dehydrated, your body holds on to extra water, which then makes you heavier, and staying properly hydrated makes the body release the extra water weight. So as soon as I stopped drinking, I'm assuming a lot of this water weight would probably just crawl right back on to where it was. As far as any of the other medical benefits go, obviously it is too early to tell from such a short experiment, although I do feel like my back feels slightly better after the week of Japanese towel method. If anything, the major benefit of the towel method is to take 5-minute break to just lay down and do nothing, which I don't do enough of, apparently. So if I had to choose one between those two methods, I would probably go with the Japanese towel method, because it's the lazier out of the two. Let me know in the comments which one of these two amazing lazy girl weight loss methods are you going to test out? Because hey, why not? They're easy enough and you got nothing but extra pounds to lose. Thank you for watching. See you in my next experiment.